Welcome back for another edition of NFL Web TV. I'm your host Samuel Zito, joined again this week by Jared Carey and Liam Mighty Quinn. Good to have you back, and Jared, it's been a big week down at NFL House.
Certainly has, Samuel. Not just with the senior footy, with the juniors as well. We've gone through the regrading process for all our junior competitions, and that's caused a lot of headaches. Both in here in the office at HQ and for many of the clubs out there. So yeah, just bear with us in the office for this week, and some really good news coming out of the youth girls. Away from that, we've had three girls who play for teams in our youth girls competition. 3 girls have been selected in the Victorian side to represent Victoria in the 16 and under Australian Championships for school sports. So well done to Rebecca Richo Privatelli, Louise Stevenson and Rochelle McSwain. Those 3 girls, 2 of them from St Amians, 1 from Darabin Falcons, will head up to Canberra for the Australian Championship. So a great effort to those girls.
Yeah, we do wish them well in Canberra, and of course Liam, you join us again this week. Of course Liam's got the fantastic preview which went on the website today, so make sure you read that, and I'm sure you're willing to tell us all about Greensboro. You were pretty impressed by them last week, and we'll get your thoughts on them later on in the show, Liam.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to it more later, but they were absolutely fantastic. They were just so hard at the ball and really knocked Monty around on Saturday, and they were very, very impressive.
Well, of course, we'll see them again this week as well when they take on Eltham. But first up, the first preview we'll do is Division 1. The grand final replay. It's Heidelberg up against West Preston. West Preston at home. Couldn't think of a better game to kick us off. Both teams really needing a win. They're 2-2. They really need one just to kickstart the season almost again and get inside the top 5. And I'm going to tip Heidelberg. I think they were good in Blair Harvey's first game as coach last week against Whittlesea. I think West Preston's just a bit off the ball at the moment. I think Heidelberg might get an away win this weekend.
Yeah, look, West Preston last week came up against the Eltham juggernaut. The Panthers are just playing some amazing footy. I mentioned last week that I saw them against Montmorency, and look, they were just sensational. They're so exciting, they're quick, they move the ball well, and now that they've got that focal point up there in Big Mark Keenan, he really straightens them up quite a bit. The Bergs had a terrific win against Whittlesea, just got the job done with Blair Harvey in his first week as coach, as you said. And look, they'll be looking to reaffirm their status as one of the real main contenders when they host West Preston, and it'll be a lakeside team without Goodwin or Rocker. So a lot will be left up to the mid-tier players, I think.
Yeah, with those 2 outs, as you said, JC, should really test the depth they've got down there at West Preston, which will be interesting to see how they can respond to that one. And I haven't seen other players looking forward to that this week. By all accounts, they're very good. But it's interesting when you see Heidelberg to bounce back from, I think it was 50 points they went down by the week before, to then knock a team off by 50 the next. So there's a 100-point turnaround, which is a bit of a big swing there. So.
Yeah, it was a good sign of character, of course. When a new coach, pardon me, does come in, they often get a win first up, so it was good to see there. We go from one Harvey to another. We've got North Heidelberg hosting Bundoora this week. Bundoora, of course, undefeated in 2011. North Heidelberg still without a win, and probably not getting any closer to one. I don't think they'll have too much chance this week against the Bulls.
Yeah, probably. Look, they lost by 90 points last week, the Doggies, but it was probably their best performance for the year. They showed glimpses in patch, from what I'm told. Shane Harvey was terrific, and as he always is. And look, you look at some of the better players, and it's the blokes that you want up there: Jason Dean, Ali Assisi, and really good to see a young kid by the name of Matt Marnie, who is a Yarrabat junior. He's got himself in the best players as well. Worrying for the Doggies is that Violato got away from them and kicked 9. And look, I can't really see them worrying the Bulls too much. So even though it's at Shelley Park, I think the Bulls will probably be hoping for a 3-figure victory.
Yeah, you'd think that Bundoora should be pretty comfortable getting another win there, keeping their undefeated season going, and especially when you saw that North Heidelberg did struggle with the forwards last week, and then you've got probably the most dangerous forward line in the comp at the moment coming into town as well. So. Yeah, you'd think Bundoora should get that one pretty comfortably. 13
goal kickers for the Bulls last week, Quinny, which is it's a sign of a really good side, I reckon.
And it was a record, I think, in there as well. 13, you don't get that too often. I think anything more than about 7 or 8 is usually good effort. So absolutely. More than half the side scoring goals is a fantastic achievement.
Still no goals to bench Elton though. He keeps telling me he's going to get down there and snag one.
Maybe. It could be one this week. We never know. Of course. Next up is McLeod, and they take on Norfolk Park. McLeod. suffered a loss again last week. Probably hampered a bit by not being able to select one of their best youngsters. And your man is, of course, his name just escapes my mind.
Ben Lennon.
Ben Lennon, of course.
I'll claim him.
He'll be back in about 7 weeks, we're hearing, just with school football commitments. So that doesn't help when you have such a fine player like that not being able to get in the park. But for mine, I'll keep Steve Taffy. I know he's not here, but I'll go for Northcote Park.
Okay, yeah, no, look, I'll be doing the same. Really good side for McLeod. They won the last quarter against the Bulls. They outscored them 5-2, so that's something to hang their hats on. I mentioned before about Northcote Park's Violato kicking 9, which is a great sign because Saad is obviously their main target. He's only come out and kicked 2, but Violato's chipped in and kicked 9, so he's a great player in his own right, Julian Violato, and they'll be looking to him to have as much impact as possible. Chewy Scallon, I'm told, was just outstanding. He obviously missed, he was a late withdrawal the week before, so he makes a big difference to them, and I think the Cougs will be too strong as well. Mighty?
Yeah, Northcote Park, another side that had double-digit goal kickers last week, so it shows they are very dangerous when they go forward. And all I've heard about Northcote Park, I haven't seen them play, but from CT they do seem pretty up and about down there. So
he always says that, doesn't he? Geez, they're up and about. The boys have played really well.
Saturday afternoon when the final scores came through, he was pretty pumped in the commentary box. But
he was a happy boy. But next up we have Whittlesea going out to Montmorency. Of course, Montmorency without a win so far this year. We watched them closely on Saturday, and it is hard to believe that they are sitting 0-4. They're playing some pretty good football, and again, another loss by under 5 goals. They've lost all their 4 games. I think this was the biggest margin when they lost to Greensborough by 28 points, and I think they're due for a win. And at home, I'm going to back them against the newcomer to Division 1.
Yeah, spot on. And look, I feel sorry for the Eagles because they've come up last week against Heidelberg with a new coach after all the happenings down there, and now they're coming up against a Magpie outfit that'll just be absolutely desperate to get that first win, and particularly at home. Pleasing for Whittlesea is that they were within 33 points of the all-conquering Heidelberg at three-quarter time, so that's really something to work with. And for a young Eagles side, you know, they're doing some great things up there. I can't see them getting the points against Montmorency, who you know, you've talked about. They haven't been disgraced. They've got the best centre half back in the competition in Shane Tennant, and they're going to find it very hard to get the ball past him on Saturday.
And yeah, we of course saw Shane Tennant. He was amongst the best. I know they did go down by 5 goals. He was probably in the top 3 players on the ground. Bomber Keenan's in good form. Of course, he just had his interview on Web TV just yesterday, which I'm sure you would have watched. He's in good form as well. So you have Lindback and full forward. They're going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, you'd think it should be one. Monty should be able to get that first win on the board, but even if you said for Whittlesea at the start of the season they'd only get done by Heidelberg on the road by just over 50 points, they'd probably almost take that one coming up from Division 2. But I don't know with Montmorency, you sort of wonder if there's starting to be a bit of a mental element creep into it. Maybe Whittlesea could be able to catch them off guard a little bit.
It'll be one definitely to keep an eye on, of course.
Sorry, Samuel. Ben Haynes, obviously, we've talked about him before. I still believe he's at least a couple away. And worrying that, I know we talked about Daniel McFerrin being omitted from the team last year. The Chinese whispers have reached HQ, and we're hearing that he might not actually play for the club again, which...
It's a major blow.
Oh, it is, absolutely. I mean, it's a former league best and fairest. He's still, I think he's 29, 30 years old, so he's got a little bit of footy in him. Hopefully that's not the case, because he's a great player and he's a ripping bloke, he's D-Mac, so fingers crossed he'll be out there in the black and white this week.
Well, we wish him all the best, and hopefully he does stay with the club. And of course, the final game in Division 1 next week is the NFL Match of the Day on your local station, 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. I'll be hosting the pre-match show with, of course, Quinny, Sam Patrick and Seatsy. It's Greensborough up against Eltham. It's the E.J. Whitten Foundation charity match. Of course, if you are down there, dig deep into your pockets and throw a few coins in the bucket for a good cause. And Greensborough they keep rolling, but at the same time Eltham have knocked off 2 pretty impressive sides in the past 2 weeks. They've beaten Monty away, they've beaten West Preston as well, a West Preston side with Anthony Rocker included as well. So they're going to be hard to stop as well, but for mine, I think Greensborough is just starting to roll a bit. They're starting to get some confidence about them, and I think again on their home paddock, I think they can get the chocolates this week.
Well, look, these two clubs have had some unbelievable clashes in the last few years. You know, I reckon just about probably 75% of them have been under a kick. They've quite often actually kicked off the season against each other, and there's been a couple of points either way in most games. Eltham, I mentioned I saw them a couple of weeks ago against Montmorency, and it was probably one of the best quarters of footy I've seen played. They were extraordinary. Chris Pendlebury, who dominated by all reports on the weekend, he won't play this week due to Collingwood duty, so that's a loss. That's a loss for them, but look, no doubt they'll be able to cover it. Young Hocking's doing some really good things in Iraq, and I mentioned Connolly the last couple of weeks. Sturgis is a star, keen enough forward, straightens them up. Big Curry, I noticed didn't have a great impact, probably because he might not have played. But the other kid who I wanted to mention was Tam Barkas, who I believe played his first game on the weekend, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he might have actually snagged a vote from
two
votes. There you go. So 2 votes from Vinny Natoli. So that's a great effort, and they've also had 13 goal kickers on the weekend. So we talk about records, then they've done it as well.
Some nice sprints going over the whole league.
And I'll leave you two to talk about Greensboro because you've both seen them on the weekend. But for me, probably Greensboro just, but either team under 10 points, I reckon, will probably be the way it goes.
And Quinny, your prediction for this one?
Yeah, I've got Greensboro. Should be a really close game though. As JC said, there have been some fantastic contests the last few years. I'm sure you'll talk a bit more about the players for Greensboro. One of the main things that really jumped out to me was just how loud and how vast the crowd was last week down there at the War Memorial Park. They had people all up on the hill. It was really loud. Really gave the team a lift. When it got close in that third quarter, there was a few times when players kicked goals, pumped up with the crowd. So it really gave them that extra push. And it's a bit of a cliche to say the 19th man sort of thing with the crowd, but they really did seem to give Greensboro a lift last week.
Well, of course, once you start winning a few games, the crowds do increase. I'm sure they'll have even more people down there this week. I was most probably impressed by Tim Bonjetti. He probably had a really disappointing first half. He copped a big hit, he had a few shots on goal, go astray, but after half time he came out and, as all good skippers do, he really grabbed the boys by the scruff of the neck and he pulled the side over the line. It was a fantastic performance, despite not being one of his better games.
Yeah, especially that, I think midway through the third quarter, that snap he got from the pole, which gave them, I think it pushed it back out to about a 3-goal lead, and they were never headed from there.
Yeah, the crowd got involved on that one. Well, thank you for watching this instalment of NFL Web TV. Make sure you keep watching the Division 2 and Division 3 preview. I'm your host, Samuel Zedo, and we'll be back very shortly.